Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met today with U.S. Vice President Joe Biden on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum, just days after U.S. Ambassador to Israel criticized the Jewish state's West Bank policy. The meeting took place just as Israel confirmed its plan to appropriate a large tract of fertile land in the West Bank, a move likely to draw further international criticism. The Israeli premier also met with Secretary of State John Kerry. Netanyahu is currently speaking in Davos.
Move to North Africa, to Egypt, Daesh comes first, but there's always the second. And so when they look around and they say, well, who can help us in this battle that threatens our very future? Obviously, Israel and these Sunni Arab states are not on opposite sides, and that's natural. That, I think, tells you there's a bigger story. I said this yesterday. I went to with my wife to a dinner, the opening dinner here, and I met some of our European friends, including members of the EU. And I said, look, I have one request, that the EU policy shaped in Brussels, not the individual European countries, but the EU policy vis-a-vis Israel and the Palestinians merely reflect now the prevailing Arab policy to Israel and the Palestinians. There is a great shift taking place, and it might be. We used to think that if we solved the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, it would solve the larger Israeli-Arab conflict. The more I look at it, the more I think it may be the other way around, that by nurturing these relationships that are taking place now, that could actually, with the Arab world, that could actually help us resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and we're actually working towards that end.
The American ambassador last week had some very strong words about Israel's settlement policy. Do you believe that there is any prospect of a solution to what you, I know, regard as a huge problem, which is that Israel rules over vast millions of Palestinians who have neither a country nor the right to vote? How is this going to end? Well,
first of all, they have their own government. They do vote.
Not national sovereignty.
Yeah, well, I think it's a question of who has ultimately the security control. Because what we've seen is that when you have Western forces withdraw in the Middle East anywhere, then immediately what comes in is militant Islam. It happened to us in Lebanon. We went out, Iran walked in with its proxy Hezbollah. It happened to us in Gaza. We walked out, Iran walked in with the Islamic Jihad and with Hamas. And of course, people in Israel who want a solution, as I do, between us and the Palestinians say, well, we don't want to govern the Palestinians, but we don't want the territories that are handed over to them to be used as territory, as a launching ground for militant Islamic attacks, as happened before in Lebanon and in Gaza. So the only way you can resolve this is to have a negotiation to resolve all the outstanding issues. First and foremost, the persistent refusal to recognize